Director of The Incredible Hulk, Louis Leterrier, in recent interviews revealed some interesting details that had he accepted either of these jobs, the MCU could be far different and ended up in a completely different position than it's in now. So this comes at us from a recent interview that Louis Leterrier did where he reflected on working on The Incredible Hulk, many of the ups and downs of working in Hollywood, and then the entire conversation got brought back around to Marvel and where they are now and what happened with Louis Leterrier never directing another MCU film and not really working with Marvel Studios again. And he says that when it came to discussions of another Hulk film, that never happened because of the whole Universal deal. We know that for a fact. But he reveals him and Marvel Studios met multiple times for multiple films. He said he initially pitched doing the Avengers, but they figured he wasn't a good fit for that because they already had somebody in mind, which we of course know was Joss Whedon. But he said, despite that, they brought him back and kept pitching him films. He was also offered Thor 1 after the success of The Incredible Hulk and them seeing what he could do. They figured he could bring that same type of tone and feel on a nice budget that he's not going to blow over to Thor. Once he passed that up because he said he didn't like it and didn't understand it because Thor was never his character, he said Marvel Studios brought him in multiple times and actually wanted him to direct Guardians of the Galaxy. But he passed on it. And he didn't pass on it because he hated it or anything like that. He said he just wouldn't be a good fit for what they wanted. He looked at what they were doing with Guardians and said it wasn't in his wheelhouse, and he needed to have a personal connection with those characters like he had with the Hulk. So the reason he passed on all these projects, and he says there was other ones he was in discussion for that he doesn't reveal what they are, is all because he needed a connection to the character or don't bother doing it. And honestly, I think this is really awesome of him, and I really appreciate his honesty. All these years after he left The Incredible Hulk, clearly still no bad blood, and he's being honest about everything they offered him and why he passed up on it. He could have taken the Guardians, and who knows where the MCU would be right now. Who knows where his career would be right now, because clearly he would not have made a James Gunn film. That's for certain. So it's one of those interesting what-if things that you can now sit back and look at and go, where would the MCU be now if he took on one of these jobs? More specifically, Guardians. That would be the wild card.